Picture you see is my father, mother, and myself. And funny enough, my father was an only child. My mother was an only child, and it turns out I'm an only child as well. So no brothers and sisters, no aunts or uncles, no first cousins. So that's what you see is what you get, you know. So as a result, I suppose, like most only children, you are the center of the attention. So photographs were taken, I'd say, morning, noon, and night. That was University Avenue. That was one of our first apartments, and obviously football and the ball, like most children, like most boys and girls, it was very important. But there was no place to go. And New York was New York, and the Irish had a fear, obviously, of not going too far. You always had to be minded. So I remember playing an awful lot of ball on the streets. My grandfather on my father's side was a farmer, small farmer in West Clare, but that is a cousin of mine, Micheál O'Doherty, who lived down the road from us. So when I came home on holidays, being a Yank, as they would call it, being on the hay and doing the hay with my grandfather and with the relations was fantastic. And to get a ride on the horse with the tram of hay, with the float, as it was called, it was another world. Well, like most Irish boys, at that time, it was always boys rather than girls. We've become far more gender balanced since, but it was always boys at the time. And you became an altar boy if you got involved in a local church. And my mother in particular was very religious, and so was my grandmother. So we got into school locally, and we started serving mass. This is a picture that it was appeared in the local Clare Champion, which was a big thing at the time. I suppose at the time, I think it's changed since, but at the time you're talking about the early 70s when my father bought a pub in Ireland. Uh, the Irish were about 10 years behind the Americans in everything. I mean, it was a farming community I was coming back to, so I was coming from a city to a rural, and it was quite dramatic to see the change and see the difference.